once I pass that first mile, I like get into a flow state. Maybe my body's warmed up. I don't know, but it gets so much easier. And the same thing in business is like, once you get past that first year, first of all, you're gaining new resources, you're gaining new tools. You actually have something to compare to now because you're actually in the game rather than just reading about it or watching it on social media, watching other people partake in it. Now you're partaking in it too.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time. Take back the power. What's your plan?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Rebel Show with Bree Mesquit. I'm Bree Mesquit, and today I have my husband, Chance Mesquit, joining me. So, you guys have probably seen on my socials, we are training for a marathon, a full marathon, yes, 26.2 miles. So how this started was our business coach. He always challenges us to do something hard. So recently we had our second half-day coaching session with him. And the first time he just told us we needed to continue to nail down our macros and what else. He said pretty much tighten it up. So we nailed down our macros, got better about our meal prep. I mean, we were already in the process, but we just needed to get a little bit, take it up a notch. So we did that. We came back to our second half day. I'm down 65 at that point. You're down 75 at that point. So he was highly impressed. So he gave us our next mission, which is a marathon. So if you guys are interested in running a marathon, go check out it's bedrosculian.com/challenge, and you can download his free 6-week marathon training guide. And the whole point of this is to really just push yourself to do something hard, both physically and mentally, and you will feel so incredibly accomplished at the end. And that's what I'm hoping we will feel if I do not pass away and die.
Well,
so
I think we're already feeling accomplished by even just training for it. I mean, at least I do. Every run we do every morning or whatever, whenever days we do run, I feel accomplished for sure.
Yeah. I even got like a vest with water bottles, and I think I just feel super cool. I look the part. Now I got to actually fit the part.
I think you'll feel accomplished too if you just start running.
Yeah.
For a marathon or
seriously.
Not. Really.
So the first day, now I'm getting off track and we'll get to the point of this whole episode, but I was sitting on I've been thinking about running. I don't know, for a little while, even actually before Bedros challenged us with this, but for some reason I had this weird mental block. Like I felt like I didn't know how to run. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know why I felt like I lost the ability to freaking run.
You wouldn't even try it on the treadmill at the gym. You would
remember that one time I turned it up and I started running and I turned bright red. I felt so weird. I don't know why. I don't know. It's a natural thing.
Maybe it might
as humans, right?
A personal issue.
I did run one time though when I was crossing the street and a car started to come and I almost got hit. So I ran for survival.
Well, I would hope so.
So I guess I can run. But anyway, so I was sitting at home and just thinking about, I'm like, F this, excuse my language, but I was like, F this, I need to do it. So I put running shoes on and I ran the block and I was like, wait, actually it was kind of terrible. I was wheezing. It was really hard, but I did it. And I was like, wait, my legs can actually run. I can functionally do this. And then I just kept going. And now yesterday I did 3 miles in 35 minutes and that's a 5K. Mm-hmm. And what? Even a couple weeks ago, if you told me, I would be like, yeah, okay, you're tripping. There's no way I'm going to be doing that. But I'm starting to enjoy it. Yeah. Do you like it?
Oh, for sure. There's a thing to it, learning how to breathe right and learning how to breathe in pace and running. Pumps. And that's just what it is. I guess it's the cardio part of it and running and breathing at the same time because my legs and the rest of the body doesn't hurt. It's just my breathing. Yeah. It was out of control. Now it's getting a little better. It's still horrible. I still need to be better at it and learn how to breathe right while
I know,
you're running.
It's so weird. Even the way your feet land, there's a lot.
But then the shoes really did help. Yeah. Because what did I have? Not New Balances. Oh, I had Adidas. And
we went to Kohl's or something.
Yeah, I thought they were running shoes because they look like running shoes to me, so I got those.
They had the speed lines on the side.
Yeah. And then we went to Foot Zone, got measured or scanned, and then we got the right gear, and it really does make the world of difference. Like running in actual running shoes.
Seriously,
it feels like I'm a lot faster, and my feet don't hurt, and I don't know. There's something like there's for sure. It's a sport. It's what people do, and there's definitely a science and a way to do it right and a way to do it wrong, I think.
Yeah, and definitely us being in the gym like has helped.
I'm still not on the page of getting a watch and doing my steps and all that stuff, because I feel like I just want to tell my body what to do, not rely on technology on running, so I think that's kind of weird.
But this is a form of measurement, which is one of my points.
It makes sense for sure.
In this
like
episode.
I said, there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. I don't know where that falls in, but
okay, well that's a perfect segue though into what the topic of this is going to be, and then we'll get back. Thank you. So when I was running the other day, I brought my daughter along with me, and I feel like she taught me a lot of lessons on parallels between being a new runner and being a new entrepreneur. So I wanted to just share with you guys kind of some of the thoughts I had while I was on this run, because it really is there. It's so similar. So one of the parallels that I really see between being a new runner and being a new entrepreneur is that first mile. So let's compare like the first mile to your first year of being in business. I've noticed when we started to run, like the first mile is really, really hard. Like I'm huffing and puffing. I started like getting like hip pain over here. My left knee is hurting. Like it was hard to really like start to get going. And during that first mile, I just remember keep thinking to myself, I'm like, there is no freaking way that I'm even going to get to the 3 miles, because that's been our first goal is like when we run to at least do 3 miles. So we're doing like a 5K. I'm like, there's no way. And then beyond that, I'm like, how the heck am I going to get to 26.2? Like, I just don't see it being plausible with how I'm feeling during this first mile. And that is so comparable to your first year of business. You see all these people on Instagram or through social media, or people who are further along in their journey, and you're like, how the heck am I going to get there? I don't even understand how to like register my business, or like I don't even have a business bank account. Like how am I going to build? Like I see people with 6 and 7 figure brands. Like I don't see that being achievable for me, just like I don't see the 26.2 being achievable. But guess what? First of all, we just got started. And what I noticed, and this still, we're only 3 weeks in, but every single run, the first mile has still been the hardest. Hey guys, quick interruption to the show to bring you a offer you won't be able to resist. If you have not yet tried Rebel Wax, then go ahead and visit our site, lashandwaxoc.com, and use code TRYREBEL, all one word, code TRYREBEL, to claim 2 free sample size bags. So with running, it's like, okay, we got started, and then I'm like, wait, I need to get better shoes. Now I understand what they're talking about when it comes to shoes, like the way your foot lands, or you speed, or what kind of terrain is it that you're running on. Are you on asphalt? Are you on concrete? Are you on a trail, like dirt? So it's like then, so that was a resource I gathered, right? I'm like, okay, new shoes. Okay, that's another tool in my tool belt. So for business, it could be, okay, I need, I don't know, here's a bookkeeper resource for me, or maybe here's a mentor that can help. I don't know, whatever it is, you start gathering new tools. But also when you continue to listen to content about business or content about running, now you have something to compare to, because you're actually in the game. You're not on the sidelines anymore. So that was the first thing that I really learned, was like that first mile is the hardest, and like you just got to get started and push through that first mile.
And the right tools, and then I mean compare that to like the right shoes, and then you need the right socks with the right shoes, really.
It keeps stacking.
So it's the right tools to have, and then to learn and to know how to use those right tools the right way. And then to really like sit back, and when you're in front of these people that know, the experts, to like think of the right questions to ask them.
Oh my gosh, the right questions is so incredibly important. Like, and to always also keep in mind, you never know who's in front of you, what they know, but also who they know. I feel like a lot of people are really quick to judge, and then like I know for us, we've experienced this a few times, especially at business things. I think we're pretty good about this now, but like, I don't know, not asking enough questions of people to figure out like who they are, what resources or knowledge they have that they could share with us that could help us along on our journey. And I know a lot of people have done that to us.
Yeah.
They kind of like will try to and this can be maybe a little bit off topic, but kind of like flex on us what they've done when like in reality they might be a few miles back, and like, which is fine. I'm just saying they could have utilized that opportunity to ask questions from someone who has already maybe achieved what they're working towards.
And you're only saying this because we've done this ourselves and caught ourselves like been, oh shit, we should like shut our mouths and listen a little bit more rather than
ask more
like,
questions.
Ask more questions. But it's like a skill to learn too. Like to even start thinking about like what the right questions would be.
Yeah.
And to like start like thinking like, okay, like, you know, let me sit back and like really think of what I need to ask to, you know, achieve my, you know, the answer I need to hear, whatever the case may be. But
yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm learning is to, you know, ask the right questions.
Yeah.
And, you know, how long have we been with Bedros?
I feel like we got started in November of last year.
Okay. So, yeah.
Was it?
I think so. Yeah, like around that time.
Whoa. For some reason in my head, thought we were still in like March, April. I was going to say, so like 4 months. That's crazy. No. It's June.
Yeah. So now I'm like really just at the tail end of our coaching with him, really. Yeah. You know, and I'm starting to really think of like the right questions to ask him.
I'm getting a little panic mode of like, okay, we only have a little bit more time. Like, how do I best utilize him for sure? So when I took my daughter on this run, like what even sparked this like thought in my mind was I saw how she approached her first run with me. And what she did was when we got started, first of all, I'm stretching and warming up, which I learned the hard way from the first couple runs because I was like really hurting and I didn't warm up and get prepared properly. But anyways, so I'm warming up, she just takes off. In our house, we live on a butte, which is like, how would you explain a butte? It's a volcano, right?
It's a volcano bubble that never burst.
Literally?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what buttes are.
But so it could eventually burst?
No.
Oh, shit.
It's not lava underneath. It's
Wait, but that's really weird because we have a lot of them around here.
Yeah, that's what
I thought they were. I know, but I thought he said they were individual like they're bubbles that didn't burst.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I feel like then there's a lot of pressure and they could burst.
No, they dried up and.
Oh, okay. So there's no like lava under there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So we live on a volcano bubble. It's like a pimple.
Right? I mean, I don't know, fact check that, but that's what I've learned at the little museum down the road. So
I missed that. I know it was some sort of volcano something. So that's crazy. Like, because we have a lot around here, like a lot.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Back then.
And we come from the beach. So this is new to us. Anyways, we live on that. We live on a butte. And our driveway it's pretty vertical.
Yeah.
And so my daughter, she just takes off running. And I'm like, don't wear yourself out. You know, keep on pace. You want to like slow and steady. But no, she wanted to like show up, mom. She's like, I got this. She's going and going. Well, guess what? About half a mile, she like is already gassed out. Because it's also where we live too. It's very like it's a lot of hills, so it's not the easiest run. You're not just on a flat run. You could talk about her
gear that she brought. Like she brought her big backpack with her big, you know.
Oh yeah, she did over
way too much.
A little bit overpack, which I guess we can definitely do that when we embark on a new journey of entrepreneurship too, because you've been researching. I don't know if she necessarily was with running, but I've seen this, or you're researching, trying to gather all this information, but again, you don't have that in the field knowledge yet.
Well, just going back to just getting started.
Yes.
I mean, people want to like get all the gear and all the stuff and
in order to
get started, just like, you know, what she did. She packed her backpack with snacks and overloaded it with a bunch of water and just like all this stuff to run around the block. And then she came home just exhausted.
Yeah. Which was great. I might have the kids run every day.
I might have skipped ahead in your story, but
yeah.
So she just.
But anyway, so she just took off running, and you know, because you're excited when you first get started on something new. You're excited. You're ready to hit the ground running. But then she really gassed out, and then she's like slowing down. But the thing that sparked this thought for me was when she would fully stop. So she would come to a complete hard stop, sit down. I would kind of run up the road and then run back to her, and then she'd she'd get going with me again. And I just was like, oh my gosh, how similar is this to when you first start your own career, your own business? It's like you hit the ground running, you're super motivated, then you come across your first hurdle. And a lot of times people allow that first hurdle to make them come to a dead stop. And when you do that, you're losing momentum, and it is so much harder to now get restarted. So one of my favorite analogies is pumping the well. Yeah. He's heard me say this so many times. And the other day I saw what I thought was a well in the parking lot.
It's called an antifreeze nozzle. So she tried to.
I was like, oh, look, it's a well. Let's make a video. Let's make a video about me pumping a well. And like, thank God I didn't actually open it, because it would have just been a steady stream of water in my face.
Not too much pumping involved with that one.
So I need to go back and look at what a well exactly looks like, but I know how it operates. So let me explain it to you. So when you pump a well to get water, when you first start, you have to pump it pretty aggressively, right? Mm-hmm. You're like pumping because why? Because of like...
Because it builds up the pressure to suck the water up.
Okay. So because it's obviously coming from the ground. So you're pumping really, really hard. And that's comparable to when you first start something new. You have to pump really hard and give it a lot of effort. And then what happens is a little trickle of water comes out. But this is where people make the biggest mistake, because they compare their efforts of the continual hard pumping of the well to the results that they're getting, just those little drips of water. They're like, I put in all this effort and all I'm getting is a couple drops of water. This is BS, not worth it. I'm done. And they give up. Guess what? Then you're dehydrated and you're going to die of thirst. Just kidding. But what the magic happens past those drops of water. You continue pumping, you continue giving it your full effort, and then the water starts flowing. And then guess what happens? In order to keep that stream flowing, all you have to do is a very consistent but pretty easy pump of the well, and you will keep that water flowing. And that's like how I like to compare and give a visual. I'm a very visual person and I love analogies. But that's a great visual of getting started in your business. Is at first you really have to give it a lot of effort. It's going to be difficult. At first the results may seem very like minimal, but past that, the people who don't stop, they don't allow that first hurdle to bring them to a dead stop, then they get to reap the benefits of the steady flow, the momentum, the building of the resources, the right people coming into your life to provide some guidance and additional education or training. So it's just like the biggest thing is, even when it gets hard, is to don't stop. Like, keep moving in a forward direction. Like, don't allow yourself to come to a complete stop. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to walk, but just keep yourself moving in a forward direction. So that was one thing that I really noticed. And it was really cool. This was like a good experience with my daughter, because then we got to talk about it.
I guess to relate that back to running, I feel like if I do stop, that's when I gas out more. And I start breathing all heavily instead of just continuing to run and slowly breathe and try to get my breathing under control as I'm jogging or running. I think so, like, slowing down would kind of help you in a way in running, so you could catch up with your breathing and your pace and get back on a pace, and then you could take off again.
Well, and also making maybe some adjustments, especially being newer. Maybe you have to slow down in order to reevaluate and say, okay, what do I need to adjust? Do I need to adjust the way I'm moving my arms? Because it really is running can be technical. It's so crazy. I know we already said this, but it still blows my mind.
Stepping back and just taking a look at assessing the situation and running, and that you can relate that back to business and working, as a solo esthetician or entrepreneur, is that don't stop. Just, you need to maybe take a step back and see, what you could do better and switch things up. Instead of quitting and, stopping because things aren't working. Maybe it's something that's just not working for you. Yeah. Just like running, sometimes our shoes, that's, one of the things why, I didn't want to run long distance because my feet were hurting on the treadmill at the gym. Yeah. And it's I could have gave up and not ran at all, or, and then we figured out, okay, let's get better shoes, actually running shoes. Yeah. We got those, and then we, we're taking off.
also not looking so far ahead. Like, don't focus on the finish line. Like, focus on the next mile.
When I'm running, I'm looking on the ground. I can't like look up because I see like the distance out ahead of me, and like I can't. I gotta look at my pace as I'm going.
It's like one step at a time. I feel like we're a lot of times in business too. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this talk, was like we're comparing to someone who's at their mile 10 when like you're at mile 1, or like someone who's at mile 20, and it's like, how am I going to get there? Well, it's by going through mile 1, mile 2, mile 3. So for business, it's by going through year 1, year 2, year 3, and just continuing to move forward and stop comparing yourself to those who are further ahead, who are on their year 5, 6, 7. You can say chapter, they're chapter 5, 6, 7. Like you don't want to get stuck into that comparison game. And again, I can't emphasize enough, like, just get started. It's okay to not have it all figured out. Getting started is what helps you figure it out. Like, I didn't know about these running vests and stuff. Like, and now it makes sense. Like, it's so much more comfortable to have that. Like, have my little water bottles right here, and they're accessible.
I still need to try mine out. I run without any water and stuff. So
yeah, he's a savage.
I drink some water before and some salt, and then go for the run, and I feel pretty good about it.
I don't know if that's good for you though.
But I mean, I'm not thirsty throughout the run, but I need to start training with that stuff. So when we do the marathon,
I think this week we need to go on a little bit, because our furthest has been 5.5.
5.5 out. And
I want to do but it was still all together 5.5. I want to do like a 10. Yeah. Because I feel like that'd be
I'd love to do one too. We just need to find the time this weekend. Weekends would probably be the best.
Yeah, maybe.
During the weekday, it's just so hectic to actually get more than 5 miles. Because I mean, how long did that take us? 5 miles to do?
The race starts at 7. We might be coming home at dark.
Probably, but it's all right. I don't
Crossing
care if we're running it, jogging it, walking it.
We're just
do
finishing
26.2 miles.
That is it. Okay.
So it doesn't. People like trip out and they forget that. Like, you don't have to run the whole time, you know. You could jog, you could walk, you could speed walk. You take your time. I'm just looking at it as a mission, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, we started somewhere and we have to end somewhere, and it's gonna be 26.2 miles.
And the one that we signed up for, so when he originally told us, like challenged us to this, literally in the airport the next day, when we were on our way home, we got online. I just typed in like Bend marathons, and like we were looking at all the dates and locations, and none of them really were working out dates or location again, because we wanted something local. A lot of them were in like Seattle or like Washington, and I'm like, I don't want to try this is like a whole thing, and we would, but I'm just wanted it to be local. So we ended up signing up for this one. We paid and everything. And then when we got home, I decided to actually look into it a little bit more. And it's literally like one of the hardest ones.
Yeah.
It's like in the mountains. Yeah. There's like, it's at 5,500 feet of elevation, and then there's like on mile 21 or something, there's like a 700 foot like straight vertical like freaking mountain gain. Yeah. So it's gonna be it's quite a mission. I'm excited because I can't wait to finish it and like get content and videos from it and show Bedros, and I just know like he's gonna be like, you guys, I told you to run a marathon, not like go freaking.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't know what kind of marathons they're running in Southern California. I mean, there's gnarly ones for sure.
For sure.
But a lot of them are like the boardwalk and flat like asphalt like jog, runs and stuff. But I'm not discrediting what anybody does or anything
if you
like that.
Run 26.2 miles, you're a gangster in my book.
But I think these mountains are going to be a challenge for sure. Yeah. And like, the terrain that and then it's in August too, so it's going to be the hottest, time of year out here. So that's going to be fun.
But again, so many parallels to business. Like, I really think that the number one key to success is being an overcomer and being really, really good at overcoming obstacles and hurdles. Because, and one of my favorite quotes I heard when we were at Limitless was "New levels, new devils." So recently I've met with a couple newer estheticians, and they're newly starting up their business. And I have conversations like this all the time. But when I was coaching them on social media and utilizing their social media to gain new clients, they're like, and then I was talking about about how it's still hard for me and like I stumble words and I get like, this is new, like podcasting and all that. But I told them the biggest thing, just show up, get started, and show up authentically, and you will attract your right people. And they just assume that it's like really easy for me now and that I no longer have challenges and hurdles. And I told her, I was like, no, dude, new levels, new devils. Your challenges, your hurdles, your obstacles just continue to get bigger. Yeah. But the bigger obstacles you are able to overcome and get over, like the more growth is on the other side. And also I have learned to train myself and my brain to know, hey, this hurdle that I'm facing right now is going to wipe out 90% of the people that are on my tail because they're not willing to try to get over it. So I'm like, sweet, that X's out so many like competitors now, or whatever you want to like call that. But it's like, okay, sweet. And then the next hurdle, even bigger. I'm like, sweet, this is going to take out another 5%. Like,
I think this is like relating it to running a lot. I didn't even think about this before we started talking about it right now. Yeah. It's because they're on mile 1 and you're on mile 20. Mm-hmm. And so your hurdles and, your strength and energy is going, a lot harder than their mile 1. Yeah. So, like, yeah, for sure.
Well, and then also people on mile 20 are not looking back at people on mile 1 and saying, like, ugh, look at them. They're only just, mile 1. They're remembering them being at mile 1. They're like, you know what? Good for them for getting started. For sure. And you'll be so surprised how many people in that mile 1 or in those further miles ahead than you, or let's talk years in business, are willing to reach back and help you. But what people make the biggest mistake that are on that mile 1 is they like turn the mile 20 people into their competition. And it's like they're not a worthy competitor yet because you guys are on such different like levels and playing fields. It's like utilize them for guidance and mentorship. You'll never be criticized by someone doing better than you. So it's like it's usually the people from the bottom. It's that analogy of the crab in a bucket. When you put crabs in a bucket, you don't have to put a lid on to keep them from escaping, because the one crab who has the courage to try to climb out of the bucket gets pulled back down from all the rest of the crabs that are still in the bucket. So like, don't let that be you, and also don't be that person. Don't try to pull other people down just because they're achieving something at a faster rate or sooner than you are. Like you'd be so surprised how many of them are willing to reach back and help you guys. So utilize them as guidance and mentoring instead of comparing yourself to them and then turning them into your competition and having like weird like jealousy like stuff like you. And I can fall into that sometimes now too, but I'm self-aware enough to like knock that out real quick. And then also having like an accountability partner, which would be you. Like I bring these things up to Chance, like having someone who is your safe person that you can share. That you don't want to be maybe sharing all of it with everybody, because it's definitely, I'm just lucky that it's my husband. Do you ever get sick of me? We work together. No. We're running together. We live together.
Sick of you. We get annoyed with each other, and we have our little little tips and
stuff. You get annoyed with me?
Oh man, come on now.
That's messed up.
Yeah,
I got you a hat.
Yeah.
How could you be annoyed with me? Did that buy me a few days of non-annoyance? So we have some new gear.
Trying to learn how to guide you better.
Yeah, that is true. So actually, that's one of the things we went over with Vedros. Yeah.
But before we get into that, I wanted to go back to the competition stuff. We heard that from B, I'm pretty sure. Competitions on bottom and collabs up top.
Ooh, yeah.
So that was a really good quote from him. Yeah. And that's what we always go back to, when we start feeling that way. And it's,
because it can, especially when it comes to like the copycatters. That's where I really struggle, but I'm really trying to change my mindset on that like I am so proud and honored that we were able to pave a path that others can now travel as well. So I really have grown a lot when it comes to that.
It still stings and stuff. It's still, in a way it's like, it's a little bitter taste in our mouth, but like B said, like, competitions on bottom and collaborations up on top. So like we're trying to like just get to that top point and just collab more and not even see those people as competition.
There truly is enough for everybody. There really is. And my people might not necessarily be your people might not necessarily not be like my people, but your message, how do I say this? Like the audience that will hear your message and receive it in the way that you give it is going to look a lot different than me if you're showing up authentically. So like, that's the biggest thing is like, it's so important to me with our business and just in life in general, but being genuine and authentic. Yeah. And I'm really, really like proud of us. And take a lot of pride in this when at trade shows, especially, people come up and they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are like even cooler in person than you are online. Yeah. Because I've experienced, and now I'm getting off topic, I'm sorry, but hopefully this is like, I don't know, you guys are
off script
enjoying this. But I've experienced so many times with like influencers that I really looked up to earlier in my career, and then actually interacting and building a relationship with them and them being just completely different.
Oh, sure.
Like even beyond different, just like,
just standoffish and mean,
like,
yeah, exactly.
And then oh man, it's just like it just really bugged me. I'm like, it kind of was a little soul crushing because I'm like, you have been someone I've been really looking up to and admired, and then to like have that just realization that who they are online isn't who they actually are as a person. So that's one thing that is so incredibly important to me. Plus, I do not have the time or energy to try to keep up like some weird like persona of trying to be someone that I'm not. Exactly. So like what you see is what you get. And also, side note, because I've had a lot of this lately, if you ever see us, like come say hi.
Yeah.
Like, we're not mean, I promise. I'm not going to bite you. This happens at the gym a lot.
She might be so focused on whatever she's doing, so come, wave me down and I'll get her attention.
So you're saying I have RBF?
Yeah.
It's true.
She does.
I do have RBF. I realized this at the gym. But I'm just like, I usually have some crazy music going on in my headphones, and I'm like going to war, you guys.
That's what we always hear from people that are just like, she looks really focused and,
focused.
on what she's doing.
Oh my gosh.
So
okay, now I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'll smile more while I'm running on the treadmill. I'll just make sure I look really happy and approachable. But just know, I seriously though, you guys, like I'm being serious. Like this has happened at trade shows. Remember that one girl who drove like 4 hours or something and then waited in line? She was like pregnant.
I think she was pregnant too. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It still haunts me.
I know.
That one, I cried.
And then you sent a message out.
Well, right? I sent her free stuff and
you did?
Yeah, some T-shirts and some wax. And
yeah, that one sucked. Well, that was our first trade show, and we never thought like that was gonna be like that, and people were gonna be coming up to us and to you, and that was crazy.
That was crazy
because we didn't get into this to be that. We got in this to solve a problem and solve an issue in the industry, and just to give back to the estheticians. Yeah. And so
give back to an industry that's been so great to us.
Yeah, so like, but we showing up to like a trade show and like it being that crazy and like people wanted to take pic right when we were setting up.
This one girl jumped in front of me. She's like, Bree. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Like, I thought something like, in my head, I thought you might have told her to come get me because, like, something happened to you.
It was crazy.
I don't know.
A lot of people
and then she's like, I love you. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
It's almost like,
please don't panic.
It's almost we have to remind ourselves, okay, all right. So, like, there's a lot of people watching on Instagram. Now we're here in person. So, like, people are going to come up and say hi. And like,
it's a whole new world.
It is. It's different.
It really is. Okay, we got really off topic.
Yeah, back to running.
Yep. So I guess, let's go over kind of the takeaways from this. First mile is the hardest, but just get started. Okay, that's number one. Keep the momentum. Don't stop. Keep moving forward.
Adjust your
If you slow down, that's fine.
Adjust your tools and equipment.
Yep. Utilize your resources. 100% utilize your resources. Don't get stuck in the comparison game. Yep. We don't want to get stuck in that.
Don't look ahead to mile 20.
No.
Look at
have a plan though.
Yeah.
So that's a thing is like plan. Okay, so we know our end goal, right? So that's how I like to do when we're trying to achieve something new with our business. It's like, okay, here's our end goal, because I really like to work backwards. So our end goal is 26.2, right? Okay, but how realistically do we get there? It's not by day one running 26.2. No. It's day one doing that first mile. And then it's upping it to 3 miles. Then it's upping it to 5. So there's baby steps there. So yes, you do need to acknowledge the end result that you're working towards, but then you need to take your eyes off of solely that every day, because then you're just always going to feel like you're not doing enough and that you're not far enough in your journey, like in the process yet. Because if you're just focusing on 26.2 when you're still at your 3, then you're just like, I'm not progressing fast enough.
Yeah. Well, you need to understand your vision and your why, and then when you really understand that and get that, then you could start having, goals each day to chip at that and to get to that, goal.
Yep. A few other points that it's consistency and discipline. Just being consistent.
Staying focused on why you started.
Yep. And then also the long versus short game.
Yeah.
Playing long game. A lot of people are very short-sighted. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Narrow. No, I don't want to say narrow-minded.
No, not narrow-minded. Just short-sighted.
Just thinking of now.
Instant gratification.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's one thing we really need to work on, you guys. Is breaking that need for that instant gratification, which goes back to the pumping of the well. At first, if you just judge on those few little drops and you stop, then you don't get the stream.
You don't get the stream.
Ooh, was that good?
Flow.
You don't get the flow. Ooh, we got to clip that. Clip it. And then I would end on the importance, too, of like hiring a coach and mentor. Those who have already achieved the results that you want to achieve.
Exactly.
So like for us, for this marathon specifically, we're utilizing his free 6-week training program that he put out because he did this himself and he hired a trainer, right, to create this program, and then he was just nice enough to share it with all of us. So go check that out. But yeah, hiring a coach or mentor or someone who's already been and has already achieved what you would like to achieve, highly recommend. And I really wish we would have gotten started with a business coach a lot sooner. But hey, okay, actually, I wrote down this Chinese proverb the other day, and it's bomb. Are you guys ready? The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Boom! When I heard that, I was like, yes. We all, like, oh my gosh, the opportunity that we miss because we feel like it's too late. It's like, time's going to continue to pass anyways. Yeah. The time is now. So with all the regrets or things that you hear me say in tons of my episodes, I'm like, I wish I would have done this sooner. I wish I would have done this sooner. But that's not an excuse to now not do it.
Yeah.
It's like the best time is now. Yes, it would have been better to do that back then. So listen to me, guys, and take my advice. If you're just starting, set these great foundations. That's why I'm doing this, is to be able to provide this information for you guys so you don't have to miss out on all these years of opportunity due to what is that called? The ignorance tax.
Yeah.
Like, don't pay the ignorance tax when you don't need to. Like, I'm here trying to teach you and help you guys to avoid that. But also, it's not an excuse to just not do it. The time is always now.
Yep. Boom.
Boom.
Well said.
And with that being said, I do have a business coaching program available now. I've been asked of this for a long time, so I'm so excited to actually have this offered. All the details will be in the description below, but you can work privately one-on-one with me. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're needing a guiding, helping hand, go ahead and click on the link and you can fill out the form application, and then we will get back to you and you can book a call with me and we can see if we're going to be the right fit for each other. But this is my passion. I love helping build businesses. I have a passion for the beauty industry specifically. So please reach out to me if you feel like you can use a little bit of help and guidance. But I would really challenge you guys to maybe write down a few nuggets and start implementing something from this, starting with maybe choosing a hard challenge.
Yeah, for sure. I think hard challenges are good for everybody. It gets them out of your comfort zone, helps you grow as a person, as a business owner, as a mother, as a father. Yeah. I think it's good to do hard things in life.
Absolutely. And your kids are watching. For those of you who are parents, they are watching.
100%.
It's not about what you say, it's about what you do.
Exactly.
And
they watch. I mean, they you guys know as parents, they always watch. They're always listening, even though when you think they're not, And
then when you want them to, then they don't.
Exactly.
So it's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
But truly, they're watching. So be the one. If you guys haven't heard Ed Mylett talk, one of his best speeches that I've heard, he talks about being that one in your family to change the trajectory. Yeah. Am I saying it right?
Is she saying it right?
The course. We'll say the course. To change the course of your family. All right. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you got some sort of value out of this. Make sure to check out our marathon vlog. We're going to share that. It's a journey. We're what, like 10 weeks out, I think now. So we still got a little bit of training to do, but go check that out. Every Monday, new podcast episode. Every Thursday, we got some sort of educational demo or vlog content for you guys. Thank you again for being here. Please like, subscribe, follow, all the things, and we will see you back next week.